thank you once again. I apologize for the delay there. We're going to continue on with our meeting so we can do what we need to do for the Dougherty County School Board System mid-month board meeting. I appreciate everyone coming. I call this meeting to order. Mr. Deputy Superintendent, do we have any presentations or public comments?
Yes, ma'am. I think we do, Madam Chair. I think there was scheduled to have someone from the Radium Springs neighborhood group here to speak. I'm not sure if they're here or not. Ms. Sanders, do we have anyone? You don't have any forms?
Is anyone?
I think you have a speaker.
Yes. You can come forward, ma'am, and give your name and your address, please.
Good morning.
Who's speaking, 2 or 3?
Well, I'm taking the liberty that we give you guys when y'all come across. So I'm going to come as the county commissioner for that. So then that's one.
Do they fill out a form?
No, it was a mistake with the form situation. So our attorney will be doing timing?
10 minutes?
Of course not, sir.
I want to say thank you for allowing us to come. My name is Victor Edwards, the County Commissioner for District 2. I wanted to say, take the privilege of saying, thank each one of you for the service that you guys do. And sometimes we get some statements and what we live. I say all of us live in a glass house as an elected official. And I just want to just tip my hat of the work that all of you guys do, as well as the system. What I'd like to also introduce Ms. Nelson. We live in the Radium Springs area. Ms. Nelson lives on Regina. And then this is Mr. Softer. What I like to do also is thank Ms. Hutley. It was an issue that with the school system with the over traffic on that particular street. So I wanted to thank Ms. Hutley for jumping on it. But the reason we still wanted to come because we didn't want to miss the opportunity as you as the chairperson put us on the agenda to say 2 or 3 words. So I wanted documented. And let you, so now I just turn it over to Ms. Nelson again. Thank all of you guys. Ms. Nelson.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms.
As it was previously stated, I live on Regina and I've been there for 30 years. I'm directly behind the school. Now last year we had a little problem with the school blocking our entrance from Roxanne onto Redbud, which is right between the church and the school. So that day I stopped and went inside and spoke to the secretary, whoever it was that was at the desk. And I asked her, why do they have cones on the street where we couldn't turn in? And I asked, did they have legal permission to do so? So she was like, that's on the school property. I said, no, I'm talking about on the roadside. So she hollered for somebody, and they went and removed them. So that was okay. I didn't have any problems the rest of the term with that. Now this year, it's come up where they start the same thing, but it got even worse. We cannot come down from Roxanne onto Redbud to come to our house. We'll have to go all the way up to Holly Drive to come down. And I understand that it's a congested area. So after 2 weeks, I figured something should be done. And they should have figured out a better way than to just block the whole street where you can't come down. So far, nothing has really been done. So I spoke to Vic, and that's why we're here. Because my neighbor next door can't be here because he works, but it's a problem for him also, trying to come down that street. So it's a way that they could come all the way down from Holly Drive, all the way down Regina, and go to the dead end of Ponciana and make that circle and come back up, and that'll take care of congestion that particular area. So that's my complaint.
Ms. Nelson, can you give me your first name so she can have it in the...
Sarah, S-A-R-A.
Okay. Thank you. You good, Ms.? Okay, I want to make sure. So thank you all for coming. I know Mr. Davis has some comments just to share with you what has been done. So thank y'all.
The Commissioner, if you have
something else, Mr. Commissioner.
No, we just wanted to definitely clarify where I come in. The hazard is when you're on Regina, the line is all the way up to Holly Drive. And we're not even talking about the double parking in front of the school. The line is from on Regina all the way up to Holly. So I have cars come down Holly. So when you coming, I guess that would be from Radium Springs, those cars cannot even come, or they can't even go around on Holly. Okay, because now Then when you come on Regina, now their concern was, even if we do some flyers to let the parents know, hey, please do not stop in front of the driveways, okay? Then when you're in front of the school, you have 2 lanes. So you have 2 lanes like we mean, it's 2 pickup lanes. Well, both of them going in the same direction. So if you're coming from Roxana, you cannot come down. So what they did try to do, the citizens, 1 lane is on the pavement, 1 lane is on the grass. But now when the person comes to Roxana, they got to come through. So it's kind of like, I'm thinking of Mary Acres. Mary Acres, you guys like do the pickup line in the back on the grass. So we have enough land. So again, whatever your recommendations, that's kind of what our biggest concern, my thing is the hazard on Regina.
Thank you very much. If you guys, any other questions? Okay,
Madam Chair, if I may.
Mr. Davis.
Let me say good morning to you all, and thank you for bringing your concerns before this board. And I want to thank you too, Ms. Nelson, for going in to partner with the school as a neighbor in that neighborhood. Thank you for working with the school's administration to share your concern there. I want to just speak very briefly, if I can, because this report came to Mr. Dyer a few weeks ago, and he charged us to get right to it. I want to share some of the things we have done, although it may not have alleviated all of the congestion. Hopefully it's made somewhat of a difference. Chief Conley is here today, and we're continuing to look into what we can do, working with Ms. McGee, efforts that we can make. Currently, a communication has been shared with the parents at Radim Springs Elementary not to double park on Regina nor Red Bud. That communication was shared. Chief Conley and his team have been out during dismissal for the last couple of weeks, I think, Chief. I know last week you started and on through this week. Initially, we anticipated that with the merger, with Morningside closed, that we would have, an uptick in traffic, and that certainly was the case. But this year, I think the congestion has been a lot more than the school anticipated or we anticipated. So I want to just kind of share again, the communication has gone out to families already. We have rerouted some of the traffic to alleviate some of the burdens around that pickup. However, there are some additional steps that we are considering, and we'll continue to work on that, Ms. Nelson. We'll follow up with you in the neighborhood. Watch there to be sure that we have met your need. I want to say, though, that that pickup, that congestion, it is a challenge. This year, we've had more car riders at Radim Springs Elementary in the second year of that merger than even we did last year. And we know that sometimes as we move throughout the year to trail off, families to start to use transportation and put the kids on the bus. But Ms. Nelson, we heard your concern, we've addressed it, and we're continuing to look into it to make some steps to address it, okay? So, Madam Chair.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
And we'll continue to talk to you. Thanks.
Chief Conley, did I capture most of it? Thank you.
We'll review the agenda items to give board members an opportunity to give questions or make comments. We will need an executive session to discuss personnel, litigation, and student matters. Board members, do you have any questions or comments about the agenda? We did get an addendum. Item 1, minutes of the regular board meeting held on September the 8th. Any questions? We did get an addendum for item 2. Any questions? Hearing none. Item 3. Item 4. Item 5. Questions? Fundraising report. Financial report. And we added one, 9C. We will be asking for that in regular board meeting after the superintendent report as an action item. Everyone got the updated agenda, correct? Okay. So, if nothing else, Superintendent, Deputy Superintendent, are you ready for your report?
Yes, ma'am, I am. All right, and good afternoon, good morning still to everyone, and thank you all for being here, Madam Chair, board members. I would like to provide the superintendent's report for September 25th. Let me start with the vision. The Dougherty County School System is a destination school system that, in collaboration with families, community stakeholders, provides for quality educational and social development experiences that empowers graduates to be successful and impactful contributors to society. Our mission is to meet the academic and non-academic needs of our students with rigorous and relevant educational experiences that equip them to succeed in life. And here are our 5 priorities in the strategic plan. Priority 1, early literacy. Priority 2, academic rigor and relevance. Priority 3, student wellness. Priority 4, investment in human capital. And priority 5, family and community engagement. Our topics for today, hopefully we can move through these. A couple of operational updates, one of which we just heard this morning with the group from Radium Springs that came out to share about their concern as it relates to congestion. Again, I want to just kind of reiterate to this board that we are continuing to work on that, continuing to look at it. We have made some efforts to address the congestion that is out there at Radium Springs Elementary. Again, a lot of it came when Morningside was repurposed to a pre-K center. So the school took on the majority of the students that were rezoned. They went to Radium Springs Elementary. So we anticipated some congestion. We'll continue to work on different traffic patterns to address that. The other things we'll talk about are policy revisions, acceptable use policy as the chair. Yes.
In the Radium Springs, is the state road, Georgia 3, I believe it is.
They're not on Radium. They're talking about Radium Elementary.
Ma'am?
They're talking about Radium Elementary.
Right.
Okay.
I'm not saying that in this road is a Georgia state road. If it is, the state has the power to control that traffic. The same problem they have out on Nam Road Center. And that's a state issue. And I don't know what the system or the county can do other than consulting with the state, if you will, to make it the traffic easier. Thank you.
For clarity, Mr. Bush, they're talking about the neighborhood. They're talking about Regina and Pontiac, those roads over there.
Okay.
Roxanne and Redbud.
Roxanne, Bud,
Redbud.
Redbud, just for clarity. Okay.
Okay, all right, and thank you for that comment. The policy revision update, we'll move through the policy revision update, the acceptable use policy, as Madam Chair just mentioned, that we'll be asking that item be moved from discussion to an action item. Celebration is announcements, and we will need an executive session to discuss student matters, property, and potential litigation. The second bullet on operational updates that I'd like to share with the board is the City of Albany is negotiated a sale of Pretoria Fields and have worked with a company that is going to assume ownership of the brewery. They would like for this board to waive the penalties and taxes, penalties and fees that are associated with that property. The new owner, the potential owner, will assume all of the back taxes. However, they just like consent from this body to waive those penalties and fees that were associated with that property, Pretoria Fields. So with the board, the superintendent is just asking for permission, consent for this board, so he can send a communication to the city that waive the penalties and fees. Again, the new owner will assume all of the back taxes that are associated with that property.
Madam Chair. Yes, Madam Chair, to Mr. Superintendent, Mr. Davis. What amount are we talking about? How much?
I think it's close to about $6,000, and that's over 4 years.
Okay, for the penalties.
It's over 4 years.
Okay.
And so the city will be doing the same thing, waiving those penalties and fees. The penalties and fees are a function of the tax department. So we don't have any authority per the statute. I don't know if the attorney can add any comment to this, but we don't have the authority to levy penalties or waive them. The tax department does. They're just asking for our consent for our portion.
Is this a recommendation from
Yes.
the office, sir?
Yes, sir, it is. It won't need something for approval, but definitely we need you all's permission to provide a consent to the city.
Any other questions, Mr. Davis?
Okay. All right. At this time, you all know Mr. Dyer, as you mentioned in quite a number of previous board meetings over the last couple of months, has been working with the Georgia School Boards Association as it relates to policy revisions. And Dr. Finley and his office have just done a fantastic job, in my opinion, of organizing that work and presenting it and sharing it out, even amongst Mr. Dyer's cabinet. So at this point, I would like for Dr. Finley, if he can, to come up and talk through policy revisions. Give us an update on sections A through C. Thank you.
Good morning.
Morning.
To the Board of Education, Superintendent Mr. Dyer, Deputy Superintendent Mr. Davis, our stakeholders, parents, our students, district and school leadership. It's an honor to come before you today to provide an update regarding our policy revision process. So I'm going to start with, before we get to while they're working on the PowerPoint, the folder that you have in front of you, and I apologize that with the paper. However, I want to make sure that you have, everything that you need to be able to continue your review process as it relates to policy. If you open the folder, you'll see that I created a table of contents for you. And in that table, and behind the table of contents, each document is numbered in the corner that aligns with the table of contents. So you'll know you don't get lost in the documents. So within that folder, the first document is the GSBA recommendations. So this is what they sent to us in regards to section A through C. These are their recommendations. So I wanted to make sure that you had this particular document, which was in your last document, but I have keeping everything together. So I want to make sure you have what came from them as it relates to what is required or suggested, discretionary, or what we should consider abolishing. Just for the public, section A is school district organization, section B is school board operations, and section C is general school administration. Those are the three sections that we are discussing today. So that first document is, again, Georgia School Board Association. That's their recommendations alone. Number two, the document that's number 2, that's a document that's created that has their recommendations in addition to DCSS response to their recommendations. So on that chart, what you'll see on the left side, it aligns with the first document from what GSBA sent. And then to the right side of the page, you'll see DCSS, fourth column, DCSS response to GSBA recommendations. And then you'll see a rationale to the right. So document 2 is a combination. You can see their rationale, GSBA, and then you can see DCSS rationale and recommendations related to sections A, B, and C. Document 3, we will go over this within the PowerPoint. It's just a visual representation of document 2. Document 4 is the actual manual, which has all of the policies in sections A, B, and C with the recommended revisions and new language that's provided. And 5, that's the technology policy that we are asking for your consideration today for potential adoption. And that policy is Internet Acceptable Use, policy IFBG. And the last document I provided this the last time was just like brief notes related to each policy for section A, B, and C. So again, I apologize, but I want to make sure that you have, the necessary documents to be able to continue your review of the policies. All right, so with that being said, I'm going to turn your attention to the PowerPoint on the screen, and we will begin the presentation. Well, first, are there any questions about the folder before we go into the presentation? All right. So the purpose, why conduct a policy review revision process? And the answer to that, we want to ensure that we align with state laws, state board of education rules, and federal requirements. In addition to that, we want to ensure that our policies align with our priorities in our district, which is extremely important. And over time, language sometimes is not needed anymore, needs to be updated. Sometimes you have redundancies that you can find within your policy manual. So we want to make sure that we are eliminating redundancies, updating and clarifying language within our policy manual. Key details and considerations. So just went over the folder contents. Key details. So just want to touch briefly on charter flexibility. Is there a way we can blow this up a little bit? So just want to touch a little bit on charter flexibility. As you know, we're a charter district, so we have flexibility as it relates to Title 20. We don't have to follow all of the rules, the laws within that particular, within Title 20, due to us being a charter district. Also, I want to mention GSBA position versus DCSS position. So what I mean by position is where, when we get into the chart that you're going to see in a few moments, what you're going to realize, GSBA, their position is that if it is a state law or federal law, then we don't need to have a policy for it. That's their position. I have it here. Yeah. Yep, I'm good. And the position that we are recommending is that we want our stakeholders to be able to still access state law, federal law. So their position is remove the policies that are state law, that are supported by state law and federal law. Our position is we agree, but we have a different way we want to move forward with it. That different way, the strategy we want to use, we want to create a preamble or a reference section. And what we want to do is with those particular policies that they're recommending that we take out and take away as a policy, we place the links for the public to still be able to access where that information is at. And we create a section in our policy book. It won't be a policy, it'll be a section where our public can still access the rules and the state laws, federal laws, because we want to ensure that we continue to be transparent and we continue to provide access. We don't want them to have to go and click on 12 different links to try to find what we're saying is law. So we agree in the sense of we understand it's a state law, we understand if it's a federal law, and we don't necessarily have to have it as a policy. However, to support and to continue to move forward in the spirit of transparency and access for all stakeholders, we want to ensure that we still provide that pathway for access. So I'm going to talk a little bit. You're going to see visual charts in a minute. This is an example of one. This is the first one, actually. And this is document 3 in your folder. So it's in your folder as document 3. So you'll have it in front of you. but I also have it on the screen for those who may be watching. This is just a concise way where you can see what Georgia School Board Association is recommending versus what we are recommending. So I'm gonna go over the structure of the chart first, so everybody can access the information. So on the left-hand side, you'll see our section, the Section A, School District Organization. There's a legend under that. The legend, the colors on here, there are recommendations at DCSS, right? So the green represents what we recommend retaining, policies we recommend retaining with or without revision. Some may not need revisions, some we have recommendations for revisions in there. If it's in gray, that is saying we're recommending remove as policy, but move to the preamble reference section, as I just mentioned, so that we can continue to provide transparency and access. If it's the color blue, which you'll see on other charts, it's a new policy. And we recommend accepting the language that GSBA has recommended. And if it's in red, that's abolish policy. Because that may mean that we can, it's something that we handle administratively. It doesn't need to be a policy, maybe go into a regulation, or the policy is, due to the revisions, captured in another policy, and we will make note of that. All right. Now go back to A. At the top, beside policy section, you'll see required or suggested, discretionary, and consider abolishing. And you see GSBA in parentheses. So those columns in the policy up under the policies, up under the column, that's their recommendation. So for example, policy AFC, emergency closings, GSBA, they recommend that it's required or suggested, so that we have to have that. I'll go to the consider abolishing. Another example is policy AB, school board legal status. GSBA, they recommend that we abolish that policy, and their rationale is because it's a state law. It's already there. You see it in gray, DCSS recommendation. We are recommending that it goes in the preamble reference section because for transparency and access. So the colors are our recommendations. The structure is GSBA. So the columns, where the policy is on the chart, that's GSBA. The colors is what we're saying we're recommending in addition to that. So this is just a quick view of Section A. You can go to Section B. So there are more policies in Section B. As you can see, the green, those, again, are the policies that we are recommending that remain, that we retain. The policies in blue, you can see new. And the policies in red, you can see abolish. So BDD, that policy will be, it's recommended that the language is within a new policy, which is BD. And school board records is being abolished because it's it'll be found in a new policy in CN, the recommendation. Any questions around just the structure or the organization of the chart for understanding?
Any questions?
Yes, ma'am.
Ms. Hand?
You said that you're going to move the school board records to another.
Yes, ma'am. It's recommended. So like we don't make that. We recommend to you all, but you'll see it in the next chart. It's a policy. It's a new policy. School records, CN. Yes, ma'am.
Any other questions? Okay, just to be with clarity.
Okay.
When you look in the policies, they're marked out.
Yes, ma'am.
Those wordings like they are will go in the preamble, even though they're marked out on ours? Because it's saying like it's abolished or it's going to preamble. Will it go in the preamble as stated?
Some will, some won't. There may be some adjustments to language depending on the policy.
Okay, but it will go in even though it's tracked down
Yes, ma'am.
here.
If it's in gray on these charts, we're considering putting it in the preamble.
Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
thank you.
Any other questions?
Any other questions?
All right, you can go to see Mr. Davis. So in this particular section, General School Administration, you see more gray. In that section, GSBA is recommending all of those policies be abolished. And our recommendation, as you can see by the gray, is that consider putting them in the preamble reference section, so transparency and access. All right, Mr. Davis. So I want to briefly talk about the IT policy. And that's number 5 in your folder. And this is due to new legislation. We have to ensure, and we've had an internet acceptable use policy within our district. We just had to update it. And it has to go into effect due to new legislation by October the 1st. And this is a build upon the Social Media Act in Senate Bill 351. It's a continuation and build on as it relates to ensuring that we have measures in place to protect against students using the internet in a way that's not to serve their educational purposes in a positive manner. And within this policy, we have to have technology protective measures like filters to ensure that students can't do those particular things. In addition to that, we have to create administrative regulations and guidelines as it relates to the process of how we're going to monitor and how we're going to implement this policy, and also have some consequences of, progressive discipline if somebody is not following this particular policy. And in addition to that, parent collaboration and engagement. So just wanted to bring this up. You do have this in your folder as number 5. This is the policy that we are asking for your consideration to adopt today. Also, we're asking for your consideration to accept policy sections A through C for your review as a first read as well. So wanted to make sure you had all the information for first read as it relates to sections A through C. And then we want to ensure that we ask for your consideration as it relates to the internet acceptable use policy for consideration for adoption today due to new legislation.
Any questions, any board members? If you do have, when you're going back through to review it, if you would like an explanation of a particular, please reach out to Dr. Finley. We mentioned that last week, and I'm sure he would take some time to go through whatever needs to be done.
Madam
Got
Chair,
questions?
yes, clarity. Okay, you're recommending that we accept the green on the policy,
Yes, for the internet acceptable use.
right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and we're gonna do away with the red,
Yes, ma'am.
all of that?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Any other questions?
And Madam Chair, if I may, Madam Chair,
Yes.
if I may, and just for clarity on that, we have an October 1st timeframe, and I apologize for getting this to the board not much sooner than now, but the district has had an acceptable use policy for a long time. The new law that was passed in 2024 required districts to update their acceptable use policy. And so there have been a few adjustments to that policy, but the bones of it still is about protecting our young people who have devices in our schools. Okay.
And just for a few board members, I had mentioned you about an email, not realizing it was in our packet. We were talking about the same thing, so it was not an email sent out.
If I'm not mistaken, that policy, Dr. Finley, was it shared via email?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Well,
So-
I was thinking it was another email when me and Dr. Davis was talking about it, because he called one word and I didn't see the internet. So I wanted to clear it up with them.
Understood. If I can, Madam Chair.
Yes, Ms. Dr. Finley.
Just before I close out and open it up for any other additional questions, if you look at your number 4 in your folder, just so when you do look through the policy manual, I just want to make sure I speak about the colors within the document. So if it's red, it's a recommendation to take the language out. All right. If it's green, that means it's new language. All right. And also this is in the email I sent, but I just wanted to make sure I said, today as well. And also for the new policies, they won't have a color. If they're completely new, it won't have a color on it, but it will have, where it says original adoption date, it will say pending. That means it's a new policy. So I just wanted to make sure I updated you around the colors, so when you're looking at it, you have complete access to it. And just want to say thank you for your time, and open up for any additional questions that you may have at the moment.
Yeah, any question, Dr. Hand?
So you're saying after using page 11 of document 4, where you said board policy and board officers, you're going to do away with that, but will board policy, board officers be replaced with something, or just completely done away with that?
Yeah, that's just a structural removal, because it's redundant. Like it's already in the with the light brown at the
Okay.
top, so they're just taking it out, so it's not saying
Okay,
the
so
same thing.
most of this will actually be removed, right? Thank you. Be removed, but not being replaced because it's being redundant. Okay.
And remember, we have, when you look back at your number 3, the ones that are in gray, those are the ones that will be considered for the preamble reference section. So so it won't be policy if that's the recommendation. If it won't be policy, but it will be in the manual for stakeholders to still access the information. So just want to make sure I reconnect to that.
Thank you.
So for clarity, I'm sorry, Madam Chair.
So we need to pass these out. Go ahead.
Okay. For clarity, you're asking us to vote today on the internet acceptable use policy. The rest is for our review.
Yes, ma'am.
That will be presented, that will be asked to vote on the next meeting.
Yes, so this will be, if accepted, the information we provide you, it'll be the first read for today, and then we'll come back for the next board meeting, and that will be the second read.
Got it. Okay.
And then, I'll be able to answer any questions or concerns at that time or between that time. And if, at that point, you all are comfortable, it's consideration for adoption at that time. So.
Got it. Thank you.
Anything else for Dr. Finley? Mr. Bush?
Yes, ma'am. I just want to express my heartfelt thank you and for doing a great job. I think that Dr. Davis and Mr. Dye and y'all have been just great in terms of it's just so, shouldn't be any ambiguity, you know, because you have done a thorough job, and I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Any other comments, questions for Dr. Finley? Thank you, sir. I appreciate the work that you, and I'm sure you got a whole team going through these. So thank you.
Thank you all. Thank you.
Okay, board.
I'll continue with my report if you're okay
Okay.
with it.
Mr. Deputy Superintendent?
Okay, and again, Madam Chair, we are requesting that the board move that item, which is listed as 9C, that is the acceptable use policy, from a discussion item to an action item, so we can adopt that policy and be in compliance. Moving right along on the,
Chair, if you don't mind, do you mind repeating that, please? Remove what?
We're moving it from
discussion item.
discussion item to move it to 9, it's gonna stay at 9C, it just will be a item we'll vote on. So at the time, I'll call for that separate from the consent.
Okay, thank you.
I'm sorry. Deputy
All right,
Superintendent.
and we're going to move right on into celebrations and announcements. We knew that that was going to be, Mr. Dyer anticipated there being some conversation around the policy work, and that is heavy work. It's very detailed work, which is why, again, I think the cadence of first read, sharing it with you, coming back for adoption, there's a lot of time in between. So please feel free, Madam Chair, board members, to reach out to Dr. Finley and have some additional conversation if needed for clarity. But moving right along to celebrations, on September 12th was a fantastic time, a beautiful day out on the grounds at Westover Comprehensive High School. It's a groundbreaking ceremony, historic groundbreaking ceremony for a magnificent facility that will be erected, facilities that will be erected over there. So I want to thank Mr. Dyer. Certainly wanted us to express appreciation to everyone who could be a part of that celebration, and it certainly was that. We also want to say thank you to all of the staff, employees who work for the Dougherty County School System. This board, Mr. Dyer, implements those DCSS moments where, and he talks about a book he read where it stated that you don't remember everything that happened in your life, but you remember moments. Those moments stand out. And he tries to create those. This is one of those moments for our staff. Where we had Employee Appreciation Night at the football game versus Griffin High School Westover. And so thank you all for everyone who came out and was a part of that. It was a great celebration. We had from bus drivers to custodians, school nutrition staff, teachers, parapros, administrators. It was just a great evening. So thank you for that. We paused this month to celebrate Hispanic Heritage Month. And again, we have a number of Hispanic students whose heritage is very dear to them in our schools. And so we want to thank all of our staff, all of our EL, ESOL staff, all of our teachers across the district, administrators, and school personnel who work with our students, and certainly want to celebrate and honor Hispanic Heritage Month. Lastly, October 13th, if you don't have it on your calendar, please put it on your calendar, Fall Break Recharge. Fall Break Recharge will be right downtown Albany. And we are encouraging all of our staff to come from 12 to 3, and it'll be fun, food, games, lots of fellowship downtown Albany. We're hoping to just kind of command this whole end of Pine, between Pine and Front Street, and really block that off to have a great time with our staff as they launch into much needed break for fall break. And again, I want to thank this board. Mr. Dyer has talked about it often, around the ebbs and flows of a school year for teachers. And so fall break is one of those opportunities for teachers to exhale, to take a moment to recharge themselves as they get ready for that next sprint. So hopefully you have that on your calendar. Additional information will be coming out to board members to be sure that you are familiar with that. Any questions or comments?
Questions and comments for the Deputy Superintendent? Hearing none.
And Madam Chair, we will need an executive session for student matters, property, and potential litigation.
So are we expecting any actions?
No, ma'am.
So if it's the board's pleasure, we can start the next meeting and then have the executive session afterwards?
That's good.
Okay, anything else before we close the briefing out? Did we need a break? Okay. Okay, board members, we will start our board meeting. We'll ask everyone to please silence your phones, stand for a moment of silence and the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay. Mr. Deputy Superintendent, we had our public comment, but is there any other public comment or presentation?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Can I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the addendum of 2A and bringing 9C up to the agenda?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Okay. Just to make, for clarity, we want to make sure that it's 2A to 9, and 2A to 7, and then 9C. I left the 7 out, okay. Do we have any changes to the meetings of the board meeting held on September 8th, 2025? Hearing none, can I get approval of the minutes? It's been properly moved in second. All in favor? All opposed? Okay, I'm entering a motion to consent agenda items 2A through 7, and 9C. Can I have a second? Do I have a second?
I second.
All in favor? All opposed? The motion has passed. The consent agenda. Remember too that we rescheduled the October 23rd board meeting to either, we moved it to the 30th. There's only one board meeting in October.
Only one?
We don't have a Monday night board meeting.
Okay, so it would be when?
Is it October 30th? 23rd?
Yeah, we moved it to the 23rd.
It
We're just not having, we're not meeting on the.
But the 13th, we have to recharge.
Yeah, because it will be coming afterwards, it will be canceled
Yeah.
if we do that for just 30.
Because we have, it'll be fall break during that time. Would we like the 13th, or do we want to just do the one? Now, there's a situation they can call a board meeting. Because we would have to come after the recharge thing here. So what's the pleasure of the board? To move it to that Thursday, the 30th? Okay.
The one board meeting
Just one?
on the
Just one.
23rd.
Yes, it will be the one that was already scheduled.
And it'll be the afternoon. It'll be 11:30.
It will be when you say afternoon, that messed me up. So everybody's okay with the 30th
The 30th.
Yes, ma'am.
At 11:30.
at 11:30. Do we have any announcements or comments to from the board or deputy? Okay, can I get a motion to go to executive session to discuss personnel, student matter? Oh, because I keep wanting to put that personnel in there. Student matters, potential litigation, and property. And I'm looking for more.
Second.
All in favor? All opposed? Okay, we're in executive session. I'm looking for my, oh.
31 children in time changing diapers.
Thank you for your patience. Is there anything else that needs to come, business need to come before the Dougherty County School Board? Any questions, comments from the school board members? Deputy Superintendent. Okay, here none. Yes, sir.
I do have a question that I just raised about, you said it's 20 students, pre-K, 10 kindergarten, and 1 first grader who have not been potty trained. And they send them to school, am I correct?
Yes, sir.
How can we, I don't know how to ask this question, but you're talking about 31 children that you have to stop teaching and change diapers. That shouldn't be. Teachers shouldn't have to change diapers this many. I can see 1 or 2 maybe. How they gonna teach? And you expect them to bring the children to a certain level, or they must be at this level by this time, and you got to take time to change diapers. I think that's ridiculous.
Yeah, but they're
you can
qualified.
expect ESP, Mr.
No, I'm just saying, I agree with you wholeheartedly,
Yes, sir.
but I think the ESP, I agree with you, not to finish it. It's just outrageous, but
It is.
this is what we have. We have to accept the fact.
Mr. Bush, can you come to the mic? They
We
can't.
have to accept the fact that we have to do what we have to do to support our students. We cannot go out and give people all of these high-powered tests and decide. We don't want James Bush because he's slow. He can't talk. But we'll take X, but we have to take everybody.
Any other comments need to, thank you, Mr. Bush. We are a public school system. We have to take what we have in our community. Thank you, Deputy Superintendent, Superintendent, Cabinet, to do whatever you guys do. I know it's not a day-to-day, but thank you
Yeah,
for
and
what your
if I
staff
can, Madam
does.
Chair, if I can, we have some phenomenal teachers, parapros, staff, administrators in our district. And that is just one of the things that they have to balance, as well as, the expectation of delivering instruction and moving kids, along that continuum to where they move from maybe academic deficiencies to proficiency. That's just one of the things. And so, like to say kudos to this board for identifying student wellness as a priority. And that certainly falls in that category, along with academic rigor and relevance, investment in human capital. So all of the training, the PD that we do is all geared toward arming our teachers and our staff professionals with the skills they need to be able to address not just that challenge, but so many challenges that our kids come with, and get them to a place to where they can stand on both their feet in front of anything in the world. So again, that's just my thoughts on that.
Dr. Hand had a comment.
Madam Chair, I think there is a process, I don't, and I may be wrong, tell me if I'm wrong, Mr. Davis, is that, they just don't go in and the teacher change diapers. They have paraprofessionals who will go in and assist, or not really assist, probably take the child out and change the diaper and et cetera, but, and help that child learn how to use the restroom. But the teacher I don't believe the teacher just stopped giving instruction to the other students. And they are, like I say, they are doing a great job. The teachers and the paras are doing an outstanding job as far as helping these little ones learn how to be potty trained.
Madam Chair.
Okay. I think I had a question here and then, Mr. Bush.
Madam Chair, I understand that they do have a para, but when, I can't call the name, but when people come in here and accuse the school system of not doing, these children are failing, why you all not here, why you're not there, why do we get these test scores so low? Do they understand where some of these children start from and how far we brought them. They don't understand that. All they wanted, they say, oh, these students are low, this is low, this, you. I finished, Madam Chair, thank you.
Mr. Bush, or was you?
I can answer that question, Dr. Fennessy. I think it's a grandstand, number one. And number two, I think I want to just reiterate that we have some great janitors and people that feed these children that are not fed before they come to school. Bus drivers taking all kind of crap to transport them to their destination. So I just wanted to piggyback on what Deputy Superintendent stated. But our janitors, you know, they do incredible jobs, cleanliness.
Yes.
Typically. Ms. Eve?
I just want to ask this question. I know that we have parent facilitators who are in our schools. Does that include pre-K? It does?
Yes.
Okay, is there any way that the parent facilitator can possibly address or somehow intervene with the parent and see how we can help the parent to help their child? Because, you know, everybody is stating, and I do agree, children at that age and stage in life should not be coming to school with that type of issue. And maybe the parent does not know the proper way to prepare the child to use the restroom. So is there, can the facilitator bring someone in and do a presentation to the parents? Or, I mean, I know it may be a sensitive issue or whatever, but there has to be a solution to what they're dealing with, what we're dealing with when it comes to that.
Deputy Superintendent, you wanted to comment? I know you guys are working toward to correct the situation. That's the reason they brought it before the board. And I know that they'll come back with a solution to remedy, at least help that, yes.
Thank you.
Madam Chairman, and when you start naming things, you miss people. And I want to say that the police officers, we all feel safe today because the police officers are here with us. Thank you.
Thank you, because that's why I don't name names, I forget. If there's nothing else business to come before the Dougherty County School Board, can I ask for a motion for adjournment? All in favor? Meeting adjourned. Thank you, board members.